one of the things with Telltale is that the company went out of business right in before the last 2 episodes were released.
Very salty about it, actually.
We had a tough time picking our topic of the month. We settled on, even though it's a little bit of old news right now, talking about Telltale's closure, how that all went down. Really, I think I don't think Jeff or Dirk have played them all, but me and Corey are heavily invested in the Walking Dead series, and one of the things with Telltale is that the company went out of business right in before the last 2 episodes were released.
Very salty about it, actually.
Well, so because kind of looking at this in the rearview mirror, at this point we know now that Skybound came in, bought the rights to it, and is going to put out the last 2 issues or the last 2 episodes.
Okay.
So we will get to see.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, then what the fuck? Okay. So the whole game was on sale. Is it going to be a different game, or are they just going to finish
I assume it'll be the same thing. Yeah, I assume if you bought the season pass and stuff, they'll take the hit on that. You'd assume, right? Like the last month when we talked about it, it was still up in the air, right? And what we had said was that, man, I really just hope, I remember I said Kirkman should step up with some Walking Dead money and take care of this thing, and he did. So, that might have been in the works even back then, right? But just the deal wasn't done yet for them to come out and announce it.
Right.
Like, I think as soon as it happened, he was like, okay, we can't just let this die. And, so anyways, props to him for doing it. Really weird though, Telltale to go from making 5 games in a year to completely out of business in the middle of series. Yeah. What a mess that is, huh?
I did read, I don't know, I think it was last year that the employees were very unhappy at Telltale, and they were forcing shit on people, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, that was garbage. They were. Apparently, it was very high stress, very not a good place to work, and
that's the biggest thing that will kill a company right there is if the employees don't like the work environment.
Yeah, especially with a game like a creative place like that. If your employees don't give a fuck at a place where you're employed to be creative, then you're fucked.
Yeah, if they're not happy.
Yeah, see, I think, to be honest, I hadn't heard that. not worse than anybody else. Whenever people talk about the companies that have bad crunch cycles and stuff, they're always talking about Naughty Dog, Rockstar, and CD Projekt Red. Those are the big names, right? And I listen to a lot of and follow. What's his name? Jason Schreier over there at Kotaku. He's always calling for unionization, which I think it's whatever. That's a complicated topic that I think takes more time than we have now. But I think with Telltale, I think, to be honest, the problem that they had is that they were successful. The Walking Dead season 1 really blew up for them. They had some old games back in the past. What is it? Back to the Future. No, Game of Thrones is after Walking Dead. I mean, way in the past. There was I know there's a Back to the Future series. There was another one too that I can't remember. Never were quite a big deal. After The Walking Dead blew up, they bought all these different licenses and started making all these games, and they just the basics of the game never evolved. You know what I mean? So for me, it was I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't have interest in playing that game anymore because I knew it was just going to be another Telltale game.
Yeah, but the good ones, they didn't even need to evolve. Borderlands was great.
Right.
It was so great, even though it was the same shit as all the Walking Deads before it, and every Telltale game you played before it. The story was just so great and fucking hilarious that it was a great game.
You're right. I think Tales of the Borderlands and the first season of Walking Dead and maybe Wolf Among Us, those go down as some really great stories, but it's on the strength of their story. It's not on anything else. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's seeing that story through then, and you can't expect to always hit with every story when you're pumping out that many,
Yeah.
So I just think there has to be a combination. Like, yes, you
Right.
got to keep telling great stories, but you also got to evolve that gameplay because.
Yeah, even like Until Dawn, I would think would be like a step above.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the evolution of the genre, right?
Yeah.
Is something
Yeah.
like that.
So,
Yeah, totally.
The game is nuts.
Well, rip
Rep.
Telltale.
Rip
Hey,
Telltale.
Well, let me ask: is there a release date planned for these last two? Or
No, they haven't yet. After Skybound came out and said that they're taking it over, they haven't said the dates yet.
So
I'm
have they?
sure that's going to be a complicated thing.
yeah,
Have they said anything about writers or anything? Is Kirkman just going to take over? Like,
I think
because if that's the case, it's going to be the best 2 episodes yet. You know,
there's no way that they didn't have the full thing written.
Yeah. They at least have
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't make
Yeah,
a
you're right.
5-game series
Right,
without writing the
right.
whole story.
Yeah,
yeah.
They just didn't code out all the games, you know.
for sure. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
All right, Rip
find
Telltale.
out.
Rip.
Rep.